So there used to be a thing that would happen with TV shows, it was called syndication, for anybody who's not familiar with this. And if you hit 100 episodes, then you would get syndicated. And it meant, I think, that you got almost guaranteed rerun slots forever, which is why Friends is still on. And also it meant something about the payment percentage went up or something. Getting syndicated was a big deal because it meant you were basically, it was like getting tenure as a professor. Like you were locked in for life as an income from the show, even if it crashed and burned after that. And that was when network TV was around.
Yeah.
And so they would just keep cranking out the same stuff. That's why The Simpsons is still going. It's like that was the goal at that point.
Yeah.
But I feel like now with streaming platforms and the sheer amount of stuff, people are getting a little bit better about. I don't think the actual length matters. I think what matters is things have to end. And if they keep going after they end, they're never as good.
Like what?
Because there are shows that end and then keep going.
Like what?
My favorite example is Chuck. Chuck seasons 1 through 3 is one of my favorite TV shows of all time. But then there's 2 more seasons of it that stuff just keeps happening for some reason.
It's like
that's true.
Gravity Falls.
Never seen it.
Is a TV show. It's wonderful, and we'll watch it someday. But it ends. It has a definitive beginning, and it has definitive middle, definitive end. It is 40 episodes long. The whole show, maybe 50. But, it is just, it's 2 seasons long, and it's over. And the second season is really short. And I think it's great. And, I feel like there's just, TV shows that just have long flow narratives, because Gravity Falls had a long flow narrative, that just keep going and going and going.
Yeah.
What about Game of Thrones? Game of Thrones to me was 2 relationships and a marriage long, so
8
feels
seasons
too long for me.
And they're hour-long episodes
Yeah.
too.
Oh, Game of Thrones or Gravity Falls?
Game of Thrones.
Oh, Game of Thrones, yeah.
And recently I've been watching Runaways, and I've been loving Runaways. And Runaways is ending now.
Yeah.
But it's also it's only 3 seasons long, but they're hour-long episodes, and they're 15 to 10 episode seasons.
Yeah.
And it's man, that is hard to just sit down and that's a big time investment for one episode, and
yeah.
you need to be paying attention. We've drifted from shows like The Office and Parks and Rec, where you could just sort of turn them on and let them run.
Well, I guess it kind of depends. Binge watching shows could go on forever for me. They should just keep going, because I'm not watching them oh, that was a good episode, can't wait for the next one. It's I'm going to play the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one, because I watch it differently than I watch other shows. Breaking Bad, I think, is 3 seasons?
5.
5 seasons. Okay, 5 seasons. And I'm not going to,
Put it on
go
in
to
the background.
sleep and just let it roll and then fall asleep watching Breaking Bad. That's not what I'm going to do. I'm not going to put Breaking Bad on when I've got homework or something.
Right.
I would The Office or Crazy Ex-Girlfriend or Parks and Rec or whatever.
The Crazy Ex-Girlfriend girl is in Trolls 2.
She
Rachel,
actually does
whatever.
a lot of work. Her husband wrote the entire 4th season
She's
of
the
How I
rock
Met Your
and
Mother.
roll troll.
Sorry.
in Rock and
Everyone
Trolls-
was in Trolls.
Which movie is Trolls 2?
Trolls 2 is not... No, the new movie coming out, DreamWorks.
Yeah, the animated
Trolls
one.
2,
DreamWorks.
not Troll 2,
Yes.
the
Right.
old horror
Correct.
movie.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
Not they're eating her.
Right.
And then they're going to eat me.
I was confused for a second. I'm sorry.
Oh my god.
The animated thing about the troll dolls.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That Justin
Sure.
Timberlake wrote a song
Why
for.
not?
Who else is in that amazing movie?
Oh
Whoever
my
they
gosh.
paid, I guess. I mean,
Anna Kendrick, of course. Jamie
Yeah.
Dornan. Do you guys know who Jamie Dornan is?
nope.
We're
I don't
going to
think-
go see Cats
I don't think
tomorrow,
men-
and I'm so excited.
No, wait. This is a big... now I'm curious about this. I think there must be actors and actresses that exist that only the opposite gender knows of. Jamie Dornan is no one to you guys, and I don't
Yeah.
think he would be to most men, but he is 50 Shades of Grey and Outlander.
Oh,
he is
okay.
2 of the most female-centric love interest.
Outlander, your
That's the Viking.
your romance novel about transporting through Stonehenge.
Okay,
Yeah, in the Viking
Outlander
era.
is phenomenal. It's so good. I even think men would like it. They're just uncomfortable in their sexuality, so they won't read it. That's the only reason I can think that a man would not enjoy that book. It is so good.
I've read female-centric romance.
No, so have
fantasy.
I. They're all bad except for Outlander.
Uprooted was pretty good.
Uprooted?
Just
I haven't
not
heard of that.
Not the romance sections. The romance sections were
See, the
bad.
thing about Outlander is, one, it's a really great adventure story. 2, it's a shitty time travel story. And 3, it's a phenomenal romance story. But it's all of those 3 things. It's actually a
There's a
great
show of that too,
adventure
right?
novel. Yeah, I haven't seen it. I only read the books. But I haven't seen the show. And because in the books, the main character, mind you, another favorite, is short, kind of fat, has dark curly hair, and I'm like, whoa, me in a book, amazing. And then they're like, how about 6 foot tall, thin, straight hair, but we'll curl it for the show woman. And I'm like,
I'm imagining
Thanks.
just Chris Hemsworth clones everywhere.
actually, yeah, that's actually what most people imagine. And then they picked Jamie Dornan, and literally there was a revolt on the internet. And I don't know if people still think he's worth it or not anymore, but this is how I feel about these
Going
things.
back a little bit, I also think one of the things that has changed is a lot of shows don't really have filler episodes as much anymore. I actually can't think of a current show that's currently running that I like putting on in the background, like the ones you were talking about with like The Office and
Yeah.
Parks and Rec and all those. A lot of shows don't really have those episodes where you can just sort of like the whole thing with those shows is that they're the kinds that kind of like reset a little bit at the end of each episode, right? So you can watch them out of sequence, or you can just kind of put one on and it's like nothing necessarily important happens. But I think people are actually like stripping that kind of stuff out a little bit,
Right.
which is kind of interesting.
The only exception I've had to this rule is that, like, if I've watched a show too much, that I already know the show very well, then it can become a background noise show. So,
Yeah.
Buffy is very story-based once it gets going, and Heroes is definitely very story-based. I can put Heroes on in the background. I did this in college. I had all the DVDs of Heroes. I still have them somewhere. They're in
Yeah.
some box. Except my season 1. Somebody stole my season 1 of Heroes.
The only one worth anything.
No, their other seasons are okay.
No.
I like Heroes.
Heroes was always background noise.
But anyways, wow, harsh. But I put those shows as background noise because it's just like, oh, I know what's happening here.
I also
But
want to mention that I may have made up the stuff about syndication before. I was just trying to recite from memory what I remember syndication is, but that might be completely wrong, so don't
Oops.
go say that at a party because you heard me say it once.
Wow.
Or do.
Or do and just blame me.
Kyle said it.
But yeah, it's well, so like Netflix shows. Me and you have talked about a lot of the Netflix running shows. They have they have the, for a while at least they had very specific 13 episode arcs. Like all the
Right.
Netflix Marvel shows, they were always 13 episodes. And me and Ian were always like, I feel like these could have been trimmed down to about 8. You can cut out 4 to 5 episodes in the middle of all those shows and the story still works for some reason. Because they just sort of, I think they just needed like quantity. But it feels like that's getting shorter and shorter over time. And used to it was like if you look at like old, well, I mean sitcoms were their own thing, right? Sitcoms were made to be they are only filler episodes,
Right.
Yeah.
But even like Lost, when it first came out, right? It was like one of the early story-driven shows. It has like 24 episodes every single season, 24 to
Yep.
30-hour-long episodes.
Yeah.
And we're watching through it again right now, and like so little happens in the first 3 seasons of that show.
I would argue that a lot happens. The writers make it not matter later.
It takes so long.
It's kind of
for
like,
so
well, honestly,
few things to happen.
it's kind of like Game of Thrones.
Have
In
you
that
ever heard
everything
of-
that happens
so-
in the first 2 seasons
You're
is
right.
like,
Except Game of Thrones does it better. Game of Thrones build. It
yeah.
starts slow and it gains acceleration.
Yeah.
And Lost just had their episode lengths cut, or their episode numbers cut in half.
That's
so they
true.
had to rush and cram it all in.
That's a
but
good
it works
point.
better, right? Season 5 feels much
what
better.
has a
'cause
better
it's-
ending, Lost or Game of Thrones? Ooh, I haven't seen the ending of Lost, so.
You know what?
I have not
I'm gonna go
seen
with
Game of
Lost
Thrones.
only because Lost is not objectively bad. It is subjectively bad.
Wow.
And the rest of the show is not ruined, or it's you kind of know it's coming, so it doesn't hurt quite as bad. I think is what it is.
Okay.
Game of Thrones is like everything is amazing, and then they just pull the rug out from under you right at the end.
So rude.
Yeah.
You haven't seen Game of Thrones?
No,
Any of it?
So like, I watched
There's no
season
point
1.
now, but-
I watched season 1.
That's not true.
I watched season 1, and it was all right.
It's like the weakest season.
It was a lot of talking. There was some good scenery in quotations.
What even do you mean?
Yeah, and it just wasn't my show.
I think
I don't understand.
I mean, that's
Like,
fine.
like scenery. Scenery.
That's true. Actually, there's a lot of nudity in the first season that
Which
does
is
not.
I'm not complaining.
It doesn't stick around.
It-
It doesn't.
But mostly it was just like, that's all I was watching for, so I was just like, I don't know.
Go watch him Spartacus Blood and Sand.
I have.
He has.
Okay,
No,
so
okay.
my roommate, my last roommate, Matt, I'm not going to say his last name and ruin his life forever.
Dox him to the 3 people that listen to this podcast.
He loves every show about Spartacus and every show about Vikings.
Okay.
And so I have
You should watch Outlander.
He might have already seen it.
Wow.
But I have sat through with him and watched every episode, not every episode, most episodes of Vikings, the History Channel show, and then like another Viking show that I don't remember the name of, and then another Viking show, and like Spartacus, and then Spartacus Blood and Sand, and also Stargate, all of Stargate. But I love Stargate. Stargate's a different. There's a lot of Stargate.
Is that the one that Thomas wants me to watch?
I've never seen that one either. I guess that is kind of like cornerstone like sci-fi stuff, but I never
Stargate is-
Thomas wants you to watch Battlestar Galactica, which I also haven't seen any of.
Oh right, we should. That's what we should start. And we were always like, what show should we watch?
Yeah.
Stargate is like, it's like, Stargate is party goes through the gate. Alien man is confused. Woman is a woman. Science officer is like, these people need our help. Military officer goes, they might need our help, but I'm here to help our people. And then at the end, military and science guy make up, and they love each other very much, and they're the best ship in the show.
Just every episode.
And then they fix the problem and they go home.
So this is just
And
like CSI Space. Is that
well,
what
like,
the show is?
the concept is like they open a gate and it goes to all these different planets.
Right.
And then eventually it stops being about that and it becomes about actual factual spaceships and just becomes Star Trek for a little bit. But whatever. Who cares? It's got this great nerdy like Milo from Atlantis?
Yeah.
That guy is like an exact redrawing of the main character of Stargate.
Okay.
And the military guy in Atlantis?
Yeah.
An exact redrawing of the military officer in Stargate.
Okay.
Like, to a T.
This is my
Interesting.
type, so I'm gonna go look up Stargate.
Okay.
Milo from Atlantis
I'm
is
actually
physically my type.
kind of worried how similar this sounds to Skyvault in a variety of aesthetic ways.
Oops.
Well, no, it's like a military
Stargate
base.
Sky Vault. It's uncanny.
No. Now, there's a bunch of Stargates, but I'm talking about OG Stargate. Because there's Stargate,
Jason
there's Stargate
Momoa?
Atlantis, and there's
he was, like,
Stargate
8.
SG-1.
That was happening. Wait, when did the show come out?
I think it's 80s for sure.
Okay.
That's not Jason Momoa? Tell me that's not Jason Momoa.
Oh.
Momoa.
Wait, what? That is not the cast. That's Stargate Atlantis. Hold
Oh.
on, I'll
Is
find
a
it.
sequel later.
Oh my goodness. So is that Jason Momoa?
All right, I gotta go pee. So both of you get off your phones and talk.
What?
Main cast. This pee break brought to you by Total. The gum.
Oh yeah, wow,
Or
that is
the-
just like Milo from Atlantis. Okay, and I see the alien boy because he has the thing on his forehead. Anyway,
Yes, he does have the thing on his forehead.
I can't believe you don't like Game of Thrones.
I
It's-
can't believe It's not butter. But also...
You think it's butter.
You would think that it is butter.
think it's butter.
It's not that I disliked it. It's just like, I mean, Breaking Bad was there to watch. And
Breaking Bad is really good, but they're definitely like same tier of quality show.
Also, like Game of Thrones. When did that start? That started like 2000 and like
10?
12?
I don't know. Yeah, I think so. I think
maybe. Like I was still in college, and like during college, what I watched was ESPN Sports Center.
That is not an excuse.
Because that was always on.
Game of Thrones started.
And I watched Buffy every morning.
This is not an excuse. Game of Thrones started when I was a senior in high school.
You're young.
Yeah, I know. And I finished it, whenever it ended.
I watched the first season.
Year.
I just couldn't be bothered to keep up with it. And you
was
know how expensive
but it's
HBO
rewarding.
is for somebody in college?
Dude, I never paid for anything. You find it online.
Yeah, I know.
Very
Steal.
legally. No, don't steal. Have other people steal and then watch it. Reap the benefits of other people's
them
crimes.
Steal.
Yes, exactly. Game of Thrones definitely was worth watching because of the payoff, but then it ended, and now it's arguably super not worth watching. So,
But
it's fine, I guess.
Did it go too long? Did it outlive its welcome?
It didn't go too long. It literally took too long to make.
Could it have ended before?
It should have ended when it did, but it should have ended well. The issue with Game of Thrones is that they wrote the ending poorly, and so now everybody's mad. And they were like, couldn't you just killed me 3 seasons
Atlantis?
ago? The Disney?
Yeah.
Remade it into live action?
Yes.
Why?
That would look dope though, wouldn't it?
But it's already perfect.
But so was The Lion King, and they remade it anyway.
But that's just it. You don't need to redo shows that are already perfect. You'll ruin it, and then no one's gonna want it.
Just like Aladdin.
No, the remake of Aladdin was so good.
I'm just saying, if we're gonna remake Disney movies, can we remake the ones that got less than stellar reviews or were less memorable?
No, you gotta remake the ones that are racist and make them less racist.
Or do that.
They did that.
They did not
Aladdin.
Do that. That is not Aladdin. Is not the racist problem. Dumbo. Oh, they did remake Dumbo. And Peter Pan and Pocahontas. Pocahontas is a real problem.
Yeah. Okay. They can definitely remake some of those.
But Atlantis in live action, that would look so awesome.
Oh, I'd love that.
Right?
Yeah, that'd be.
But it's already good.
Yeah, it is. Well, so here's the thing. Remaking anything doesn't ruin the original one, so people can do it if they want, but it's probably gonna be bad, and no one's gonna like it.
Or
that's pretty much. I think
remake Aristocrats.
You sound like an Avatar apologist. That's what I'm hearing.
Avatar was bad. It was a dumb idea. It doesn't mess up the show. I rewatched the show over and over again.
This is true.
It doesn't ruin the original thing.
It sounds like what you just said is you're allowed to go make that movie, which you're not. No one should have done that. And how dare you make that argument?
You're allowed to do whatever you want.
No.
But if you make a terrible decision, prepare to suffer the consequences of nobody wanting to watch another movie you ever make.
I'm just saying.
That's true.
Does anybody know what actually happens in the Aristocats?
No, and no one wants to.
I know what happens.
No one wants to remake the Aristocats.
Also, that movie's a little racist too.
Yeah.
They're all racist. Racism
Disney,
used to be a comedy point back when people were.
Disney has always been exactly as racist as was socially acceptable.
This is true.
Throughout history, Disney is only as racist as the general acceptable opinion allows them to be.
That's a good point. This is accurate. So it's all racist.
Fair.
Frozen's not.
I just want to
Frozen's
remake.
Not racist.
Not yet, but wait for 30 years and see what we think of it 30 years later.
I want to remake Angels in the Outfield.
I disagree.
Hold on.
It's a great movie.
It is a great movie.
He hasn't seen that.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. Angels in the Outfield is the movie I watched when I was 5 through 7.
Wait, isn't that the same movie as Field of Dreams?
Go away.
Isn't it the same movie as Field of Dreams?
Field of Dreams is Kevin Costner is a farmer who goes absolutely batshit crazy.
That's a good movie.
It is a good movie.
It's a great movie.
But Angels in the Outfield is about Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
What?
Yes. And Joseph Gordon-Levitt is an orphan boy in the foster system in California.
Okay.
Who likes baseball and whose shitty deadbeat dad rolls in on a motorcycle like all deadbeat dads of the 90s. and goes,
Oh, I've never seen this.
"You've never seen this?"
No, I haven't seen this.
And he's like, "Hey, Dad, when can we be a family again?" He's like, "When could we be a family?" Puh, spits out cigarette butt.
Holy, look at this cover.
When the Angels win the pennant.
This is the most confusing thing I've ever
Wait, show me.
This cover.
Like there's a
It
team
has,
called
like-
the
Yes.
Angels.
Yes, the team, the
Is it
Anaheim
Steve
Angels.
Buscemi as an
So,
angel?
so there aren't actually angels
Yes.
in the...
I just need
So
people.
hold on,
I need
hold
to
on.
describe. Hold
He
up.
goes,
I need to
hold on.
describe this
Please
cover.
Go ahead, describe it.
Okay, in this cover, there is a tall black man who is, I guess, one of the
Is
angels.
Danny, wait, hold on. Show me.
This guy.
The guy
Yeah.
on the top.
No, this guy right here in the middle.
That's Danny Glover. He's a good boy.
Okay, and then he has his arms around two kids, one on the left, one on the right. The one on the right is Joseph Gordon-Levitt as like a 7-year-old. They're in a baseball field, and above them, Steve Buscemi is coming down as an angel from heaven, and he's going to steal them away and trap them in a weird cage somewhere because he's making a horrifying expression.
So
Go look
from,
it up.
It's from when Joseph Gordon-Levitt was 7. It's not just
Yes.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt playing a 7-year-old.
So Joseph Gordon-Levitt, his dad says that they can be a family again if the Angels win the pennant, like the Angels baseball team wins their national championship, right? Because they're the worst team in the league in the movie.
Okay.
And so Joseph Gordon-Levitt prays like an atheist kid because he says, "God, if there is a God." And I remember this because that was always weird to me. But anyways, he prays like an atheist kid and asks for the Angels to win the pennant so he can be with his dad again and out of the foster system.
Wow.
And
Sounds like a
and
great dad to want
and-
to be with.
and God sends actual factual angels to assist the baseball players in becoming the #1 baseball team.
I wish I could have grown up with movies like this
Hold
that were
on.
pertinent to my life.
So then Danny Glover, who is
Same.
the coach,
At least he was a boy.
he is the coach of the Angels, starts realizing weird shit is happening when his players begin like getting carried into the sky to catch balls. And he sees that like whenever Joseph Gordon-Levitt is at a baseball game, that is when the good things start happening. So he starts buying them all the tickets and hanging out with them. And then we come to realize that Danny Glover is the dad that he always needed, and the deadbeat dad on a motorcycle never comes back because he didn't expect the Angels to actually win the goddamn pennant.
This was not the 4 minutes
Anyways.
that I just had to listen to of this
hold
movie.
on. I want to remake it, but I don't want to change anything. I want actual Joseph Gordon-Levitt as he is now, just rereading the same script in the same sets. And I want old Danny Glover standing out there. I want all of it the exact same. I want to leave in the 90s effects of the Angels. This movie's phenomenal.
Oh my god.
It's so wholesome.
All this reminded me of was that there's like no 80s movies about young girls having anything in their storyline other than like there's a boy they liked somewhere.
Yeah. That's
There's
all
never
girls
like
did
a
in the
small
80s.
orphan
about
girl
Harriet the
looking for
Spy?
a mother to love her. Harriet the Spy?
Yeah.
What is this?
It's a movie about this little girl who wants to be a spy.
Did she make it to spyhood?
No.
Oh, well, this is not good.
Well, the kid didn't get his dad back either, so
There was
sometimes
also,
you just
you know
don't
what?
win.
Matilda.
Yeah,
Matilda's a good one.
Matilda.
Matilda's
a good
really
one.
good.
Yeah.
I watched Matilda every night until I was like 12. And then I still watched it every night when I was 12. Matilda's so good. Yeah, we need more Matildas. We need Sandlot starring 4 women.
What about the next
and also
Karate Kid?
Normal Sandlot is fine.
the
next-
the Jaden Smith
No.
one?
It's the 4th Karate Kid movie, and I think it has...
Literally why.
Oh, it's called
It
the
has,
next.
it's called The Next Karate Kid. It's... Oh, I want to
Lord.
say... It's not Christina Applegate. Who is it? It's somebody famous now.
Good lord.
What?
Never heard
She
of
is the
this.
Karate Kid.
There's a
Hold on.
new Karate Kid?
No, it was something. Sounds like it was made before. It was Karate Kid 4, probably direct to VHS or
It
something.
was not. Hilary Swank
What?
is
Wow.
the kid that gets taught by Mr. Miyagi in that movie.
That's
Wow.
not fair. Hilary Swank is weird because Hilary
Wait.
Swank is Like,
Definitely wasn't the same.
What
as
about
Femia.
Xenon, the sequel?
I was in the 80s. I need the
Disney
80s.
Channel doesn't. Disney Channel.
this
came
was
around
the
and-
90s. Angels in the Outfield is the 90s.
Okay, fine. Well, even the 90s then. What did you say? You said Xenon.
Xenon
That's
is
like
still the
2005.
90s. No, Xenon is definitely 1999 because that is what the 2000s were gonna be. I was
Okay,
lied
fine.
to.
It was 1999.
What about Cadet Kelly?
That was
They're all-
definitely
Disney
2000.
Channel original movies aren't the same category.
Motocrossed.
Is that
Definitely
another one?
2000s.
Motocrossed is it is definitely in the 90s.
It's not.
That is the one with the girl who wants to be
I
a
loved
motorbike
Motocross.
person.
That
and
one
she
is so not
poses
the
as
90s.
the boy to do it.
That is so not the 90s.
You guys remember that movie where Frankie Muniz is disabled?
Yes, I remember all Frankie Muniz movies. He is a treasure.
Where he is in the wheelchair.
2001.
Do you remember the Frankie Muniz movie where he's in the wheelchair and he races the wooden cars, the soapbox cars?
Yes. What is
Hell
that?
yeah.
And then
It's
he
called, I think
falls
it's
off a
called
cliff.
Miracle in Lane 3.
Yes, that is what it's called. Motocross was so good. Anyway, this
Right.
story was about a woman who wanted to do a boy sport. So she had to cut her hair. And then the boys thought she was a boy. So then she could do boy stuff.
they were also
and then
sort
she
of
wanted the
attracted.
boy stuff. And so when she was winning at the boy stuff, boys were like, wow, you're such a cool boy. And she was like, ha, I'm a girl. And they're like, great, now we can have sex. That was
That
motocross.
did not get said in
That
Motocross.
it didn't have to be said. That was the whole plot of motocross.
That was Mulan, but with less of an actual point.
Yeah, what about Mulan?
Yeah, that's true. Yes. What about
What about
Mulan?
Mulan?
Yes, Mulan was also good. Mulan, yeah. When was Mulan
Who
made?
is this
There's
girl
always the argument though
I
that comes up with this,
see
but like anytime somebody's like, there aren't enough movies about women, and they're always like, what about this one movie?
staring
When was
right
Mulan made? Mulan was not made in the
back
90s.
at
I want to say
me.
it's 90s.
Oh, right. I was like,
When
this doesn't
is
come out till
my
2020.
reflection someone
This is a
I
podcast. Can you stop offending people? It's
don't
1998.
know.
98, yeah, that sounds about right. But yeah,
What
no, this
about
is actually,
Mulan?
This isn't actually at you specifically.
Sorry, and my point. Wait, my
my
same problem with Mulan and motocross are the same. Feminism
Right.
doesn't just look like women pretending to be men to get respect.
I'm
That's
just
an
saying.
old trope. Get over it.
There's not enough movies.
Legally Blonde. Legally Blonde did the world a service that no other movie could.
There's
They
not
were like,
enough
what if we have a
movies
strong female character who's like female to the core?
representing very strange, partially animal puppet people, other than the Dark Crystal.
Labyrinth.
No, it's not the same type
Dark
of
Crystal
very
too.
obscurely. Like, what are somebody? What are the people in Dark Crystal?
Is that the, I haven't seen that
Birds?
one yet.
No,
Is that
those are the
one where
bad
they're-
people.
Oh.
What are
Oh
they?
yeah, they're
Is
the
that the
ones
one
with
with
like
the
the
furries?
noseless.
Yeah, they're so
They're like weird rounded
looking.
bald
That's the one with
things.
the furries, right?
Yes.
I
No.
mean, everything. Yes.
You saying fairies or
Furries.
furries? No, it's not furries.
No, they're
Show me a
They're
picture.
puppets. Okay.
I mean, yes. The answer is
They're
yes,
puppets of
Kyle.
furries.
they're not. They're not.
If it's the one I'm picturing, yeah, those are that's furries.
That's not a furry. Those
Yes,
are
it is.
weird
But specifically,
humanoid.
like it's
Humanoid animal things.
They're like
it's-
dolls.
it's a weird animal. That's for sure.
The Dark Crystal messed me up as a kid. Anyway, the podcast is over.
All right, Allison.
What?
In one sentence, what was this podcast about?
Oh, oops. Let's see. The longest, best running shows are the feminist ones.
You heard it here first.
You're all welcome.